So, stove works, burners work, took a picture of them, the oven works, bake works, broil works. When I got here, I turned on the dishwasher and ran it through a full cycle. It's a little noisy, but it's an older dishwasher, but it worked just fine, no leaks underneath or anything. No disposal, but hot and cold water are on the correct sides. GFCIs are all good. Everything is protected. There's a GFCI on the island, and that one's protected by the one over there by the sink.
Perfect.
And then, moving right along here, this is the electrical panel, and I took the cover off to check the wiring, and everything was fine inside. It was very well done. No double taps, no inappropriate wiring. Everything is done to code.
Excellent.
So they've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 breakers, and they have all these open slots in case they want to, put in more circuits. So, good panel. And then all the smoke detectors are hardwired, so when one goes off, they all go off. This one just needs a battery. So, here we have the water heater. The water heater is a 40-gallon water heater, and the serial number tells us it was manufactured in 2005. So it's only about 12 years old, which is good. But hot and cold water really worked good. Got really awesome water pressure. And it has a GFCI over here that works. There is no fan in this bathroom, but there is a window that opens, which still qualifies.
Okay.
Someday down the line, I would recommend that they put in a ceiling fan, because if they're up here in the winter, nobody's going to open the window up when it's 18 below.
No.
And then the shower over here, everything works good on the shower. The hot and cold are on the right sides. Again, good water pressure.
Okay. And I think that panel there is where they had done some repairs. I guess there was a leak or a problem quite some time ago that they had
think
fixed.
up here you can see that there's some new drywall work right there above the shower head, so it might have leaked in the shower head.
Okay.
But it's all dry now. It seems to be fine. Then the washer and dryer, I know both of them work, and I just turned the washer on for just enough time to make sure that the water worked, and it did. The dryer vents to the outside up there on the north side of the house. So that all works good. Even has a light.
Great.
Are we going to want to be going in the crawl space?
I love crawl spaces, John.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
They're, those in attics, anywhere where spiders live, are my favorite.
Sure, Val.
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
No. There's nothing to see down there except just the water shut off.
I will take a peek down there just to see where it is.
Okay. So in here, it has a thermostat, and the heater is underneath the sink.
Okay.
Well, not underneath the sink, but underneath the cabinet down there. So that's where the heater is.
Okay.
And then this is a regular outlet, but it's protected by the GFC outlet in the downstairs bathroom.
Okay.
They're done together. The toilet flushes well, has a good flush. We've got some damage up here, and this is because they don't have a fan in here. This gets wet and water just sits here, and so they've had to repair it over here before, and this seems all right, but this needs to be repaired.
Okay.
And that's just because there's no fan in here. There's just a window, and they just don't open the window.
What's up with the tape in there?
I don't know. It doesn't seem to be serving any purpose. I don't know. Maybe they were going to paint the cabinet on the inside or something. I'm not sure. carpet needs to be stretched or restretched. But everything's good in here. All the closets have lights, which is nice.
Any of the windows seem to have troubles opening or closing?
Nope, I opened and closed all the windows. Every one of them opens really easily. They're really good quality windows. They're wood windows. They're Posey windows.
So each room has its own thermostat?
No, that's for the fan.
Oh, okay.
But up here, this is heated by gravity up here.
Okay.
Mostly from the stove downstairs.
And then the stove is the only thing you've had on today?
Yeah.
That's nice and toasty.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. So yeah, the ceiling fans all work.
Is there gas shut off?
Yep, there's a gas shut off for the furnace, and it's right back here. In fact, there's two of them.
Okay.
And then it just works with the controller on and off, so you can just turn it off right here, and it turns off the fireplace.
And do you have to do a pilot light or anything to make it turn on?
No, it has right down here that little red button. That's a electronic starter.
Okay.
So if you ever turn it off and you have to restart it again, you just turn the dial to pilot and then hold it down and push that red button, and then the furnace will start, or the fireplace will start up. So it's an awesome unit.
It's really kicking out some heat,
I know it.
which feels great.
But there are a few issues on the outside.
Okay.
This in here between the logs is called chinking, and you can see here that there's a gap.
Mm-hmm.
Those all need to be filled.
Okay.
And then this board down here is dry rot, needs to be replaced. There is another one over here. Actually, two other ones. This one right here, and then this one right here.
Okay.
But around the house, there's lots of places like this that has holes in the chinking, and that needs to all be filled, because if it doesn't, then water can get behind here and dry rot the logs.
Okay. Is that caulking need to be redone around the windows, or is that okay?
It's just the caulking is really sloppy.
Okay.
I think when they're doing the chinking, whoever does it, it might be a good idea, like right here, it has some caulking that's missing. So it'd be a good idea, I was going to include that, both of them in the report at the same time, but they should all be checked to make sure that there's no failures in the caulking area. But
Okay.
And then this is just that these aren't dry rotted, they're just discolored. But all of these logs are supposed to be stained, depending on the log. I think these are bare, so they may not need it as often, but like every 2 to 3 years. And it would probably be a good idea that whoever does fix the caulking in these boards, that they would look at it at the same time, and if it needs to be restained, then this
That
owner-
windows that have, is that on the outside, inside, or the in between the panes?
No, that's on the outside.
Okay.
I checked that. There's another one upstairs that's the same way.
Okay.
But they don't have broken seals. And I'm not quite sure what that box is up there. It might be the bird's nest, or...
I think they made those. I thought might be what they did for the bats,
Oh, that could be. That's awesome.
so that the bats didn't get in the house while it was vacant. Do you know, is that water leaking through that soffit area up there?
No, that's just discolored. I think they had a woodpecker, like right there.
at one time, but this does not look to be like water to me. I think
Okay.
it's just stained.
Round thing down there.
Okay.
That's the septic tank, and I recommend that it be pumped.
Okay.
Not only because it's a matter of courtesy, but also I took the lid off, and I don't think one more flush is going to work.
It's full.
It's full,
Looking?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, full looking.
And what's the white thing there?
That is the propane tank
Okay.
that's buried, and it has a gauge on it, and it's 70% full. And it's probably a 500-gallon tank, so there's 350 gallons of propane in there, worth probably $500.
Okay.
It's going to be repetitive. These outside outlets, they have their own GFCI,
Okay.
and they all work. But again, just some of the same issues with the cheeking. This here is quite a bit more than usual, but that you can see where you can see the log.
Looks like
there.
water has almost gotten in there and started pushing it out.
Yeah, yeah. And same here.
Okay.
Yeah, that bottom one was the worst one.
And the metal around the bottom?
Yeah, the
It's
metal
just kind of like a skirting for.
yeah, it's just a skirting. They have insulation down here. That white stuff is foam insulation. It's just insulation, and it looks like the screw here is missing.
Okay.
So I will have that in the report too. That screw needs to be. But again, just looks like they've just done it. And then this is a storeroom. And there's no light in here, but you can kind
Just storage.
of see what's going on here. But you see how the stain is on here?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's supposed to be on the outside.
Okay.
See you can tell that's been stained, and it's good because it's inside here. It hasn't been subjected to weather. Other sides. But that's the way all of it should look. I'm gonna go by here first
Okay.
so I don't get you with the bushes. And they got rocks that kind of hold this in pretty good. And then this is another area that would need to be filled.
Just kind of any of the splits in the
Yeah.
wood.
Yes. And just like these. And all this gray, before they stain it, they can wash this all off with a power washer.
Okay.
That'll all come off. That's just from oxidation. And this is the main panel, the main shutoff for the house. It's a 200 amp breaker, so if they turn that off, all the power's off in the house.
What's under it?
Huh?
Is that another
No,
electrical
this
box
is
under it?
this is cable.
Oh, okay.
That's just cable.